Here, how are you? This is H. Victoria Hargro Atkerson. I'm an author and a writer and a soon-to-be publisher. I just wanted to touch base with you guys again, and hopefully we can share some great experiences. Let's see. I have couple of things I want to go over today. First of all, to explain what's going to be happening in the next few months. We're going to be meeting like every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. If there's something special that I want to talk about, I'll do that on a Wednesday. But that may happen maybe once or twice a month, no more than that. But generally, from here on out, we will be meeting at 10 a.m. on Saturday mornings, okay? Now, I would like to invite you, because I'm now a publisher, I would like to invite you to give some thought, some serious thought to you becoming a writer, because this is a treasure that belongs to you. A part of our rich heritage is that we were the first scribes of the world, the first writers of the world. We created the first books in the world. And this has been a secret that America and the world has kept from black people for years. Of course, people who actually held those documents and the most ancient writings are found in Timbuktu. There is something really magical and wonderful going on there now, because these people are revealing these documents, and families who live in Timbuktu have stood guard over these ancient documents for centuries, and they are bringing them out and forming their own personal libraries. Each family has a library, and it's a wonderful, wonderful thing that is happening, and I'm so excited to hear about it, and hopefully one day I can even witness it. It is an astonishing piece of our history that very few of us know about, but it's there for you. You are the direct descendant of the first writers of the world. This is our occupation, our career, our family tradition. So it's there for you, and I want you to own it. Own it, own it, own it, okay? I want to review today just of my books so that we can kind of get a frame of reference, and also get you into the bookstore so you can buy these books. Here we go. So this is Stones Along the Path, Part 1. And we also have Stones Along the Path, Part 2. These books are based on a wonderful, wonderful family, combined in love and passion and all kinds of family dynamics that I think you're going to love. We have two people who fall madly in love with each other. They're from different cultures, which is a wonderful topic to explore. It was for me. You have an African and an African American who meet and fall in love, and the dynamics are very serious, folks. It gets really crazy, but extremely passionate and wonderful. The next book I wrote was Walking Among the Kudzu. Amazing story about a young girl. She's here in this picture. She looks black. I mean, she looks white, but she is a black child. And she's standing in a field of kudzu vines. Kudzu is an amazing phenomenon of the southern landscape. In Atlanta, Georgia, where I was raised, kudzu was everywhere. It was a gift given to America by the Japanese, because after the Second World War, they gifted America this wonderful plant, they said, because at the time Georgia and many other states were having an erosion problem, and this took care of that problem immediately. At one time there were kudzu clubs, but we'll get into that. But I do have a video on kudzu. You can take a look at that. It will be very interesting for you to look at, because you're getting an idea of the overwhelming feeling you get when you are surrounded by kudzu vines. So having someone stand in the middle of it means trouble, believe me. So take a look at this book. It's really great. It's all about adolescence and maturing, and a young woman who becomes quite an amazing young woman. And it just talks about her trek and trying to find her family and her true family, which is the one God blesses her with. So interesting play, because our natural family are sometimes not the family of a person. I learned that many times over when I worked with children who were dependent, neglected, and we became the main family of many of those children because their families were not functioning as well as they should have been, and they weren't supportive to those children. So my family have embraced those children and have loved them, and some of those relationships, especially one in particular, has lasted for many years. And she's family, what can I say? So this talks about adopting families that you don't have biologically, but emotionally, supportively. Family. It's God-given family. Okay. The next book is Buttermilk Bottom, which is a great favorite because this was a real neighborhood. Buttermilk Bottom was a place from my childhood that I remembered. And to tell you the truth, it was born out of this book. One of my dear friends asked me to write about two characters in kudzu that he was fascinated with. This is my adopted brother, Larry Wright. He was so fascinated about these two characters. He kept asking me, you got to write something about these two characters because they're the best thing in the book. I'm like, I don't know how to do that. There's no story there. And he just pleaded and begged for a while, and then pretty soon I got a first draft together and took it over to him, and he was like delighted because it was exactly what he was looking for. And the story he knew was behind those characters, which was only briefly mentioned in kudzu. So Bottom is a hot book. It talks about life in this neighborhood that was one of the first neighborhoods that blacks moved into after the Civil War, and they maintained occupancy there for over 100 years. So we need to take a look at this, nearly 100. I don't think it's quite 100, nearly 100 years. Anyway, the next book is Enslaved. If you want to know what it felt like being in the bottom of that ship, if you want to know what those people were like who kidnapped our people and brought them to this country, if you want to know those conditions they had to survive to get to this country, fighting for their lives, and some did not make it. Many of them did not make it. You must take a look at this book because everything is in here. It took a lot of research to do this book. I did lots and lots of memoirs, ship's captains, people who worked on ships, like doctors, sailors, cooks. Many people wrote home, and those documents still exist. Take a look at them. Go to your librarian, ask your librarian. The librarian, by the way, is one of the most wonderful people you can ever meet in your community because they are a treasure to you as a writer. So ask a librarian, you'll find out a lot of stuff. But Enslaved, this is a wonderful book you will love. My next book coming out will be Enslaved Part 2, and I invite you to explore that also because it'll be coming out in a few months. And it's been exciting preparing for the next book, which I will personally publish myself, Enslaved Part 2, Princess Gemma, because we go on with the African princess and what happens to her after she is enslaved. So, it's been real, folks. So we're back, and we will be talking every Saturday at 10 a.m. Now, do not forget, push the red button and subscribe to this channel and tell your friends about it. And then I want you to pick up a pen and paper and write down some topics you may want to write about. It's in your blood, believe me. It's in your blood. It's our tradition. Claim it. God bless, and you take care, okay? God bless.